According to RAF senior officers, the Phantom is value for money. It packs tremendous punch in both air defense and ground attack. With a top speed of 1,300 miles an hour, the heavyweight Phantom has been described as fantastic.
Welcome back to the table. Sorry, we haven't had a table video for quite a while. I've been extremely busy. First off, before we start, thank you to everybody for all of their support and comments. It's been great, all of the interaction. Glad you guys are enjoying the little odds and ends that I've been putting out. I have been able to do a bit more flying recently because the weather is getting better. However, where the weather's turned, it's got to me, so I've been a bit under the weather recently. Shout out goes to Dave. Hope you get better soon, mate, because I saw earlier that obviously you're under the weather as well. But it's Sunday and it's been quite a quiet day, so I decided to get the F4 out of the garage, or out of the hangar, and do a little bit more on this, because it's been a good 3 weeks now since it's hit the table. So I will leave you all with the build. Stay tuned through it. I did a couple of bits and bobs as I was doing the build, so hopefully everybody enjoys it. And we will be back after the build. Guys, got the big 90mm Fly F4 out. It's going to be high power 80mm. Got all the relevant goodies now to go inside the fuzz. All amounts of control rods, plugs, extensions, servos, servo reversers. Planning on running on this 33.6S to start. So, got a few extensions in there already for the elevator servos. So, I say the elevator servos I tried before weren't torquey enough, so I had to go out and buy a whole new load more. These are all metal gear ball bearings, so they've got quite a high torque to them, so I shouldn't have a problem with them. Got to cut out the servo pockets and servo horns, rods. They're going on top again. We're going to put them on top. I'll clean it all up so it looks nice and tidy. We'll clean up the inside a little bit. She needs a bit of a dust off by the looks of it. It's been sitting for years. So it all looks quite open and easy to work on inside there. So I don't think we're going to have a problem getting it all in there. And I've just got to make up some just the exhaust nozzles. So anyway, guys, we will be back in a minute. Right, the 80mm fan's in. Fits nicely there with the induction lip on there. I'm going to have to smooth off the little gap just round the rear edge there, between the shroud and the actual exhaust. Just had to do a tiny little bit carving. I've got another one here. That was only just to mark everything out this side. Just had to carve out where the brackets are going to sit, and just had to deepen this ridge a tiny bit just so that the induction sits in there and the fuselage all sits together square. So the ESC wires, the motor to ESC wires run through here, so it's all tidy, and then the extension will run through the tunnel underneath here, come out here, and there's a ridge cut out, leads all the way along here. ESC will sit back up behind here. Right, on to the next bit. Right, got the ESC all connected up, receivers in there. Just going to plug her up for the first time, see what happens. Got to try and do this with one hand, don't spark. Come on. Not the easiest thing to do in the world by yourself. So count, she's armed. Right. Now then, what way have we got the rotation? So we should be spinning, from looking at the front, anti-clockwise. No. Spin the right way. Yeah, we're spinning the right way. Oh, she sounds nice. That's literally just touching the throttle, guys. Just literally dab. There's about 5% throttle. She's going to scream. Whoa. Right. I think we'll lay off of that. I just touched that up to about 10% and it's trying to leave the table. I think we're going to have loads of thrust. We'll get it all looked up and we'll get the watt tester on it in a little while. Right, let's get the servos in the holes. Get all the wires fed through, get the fuselage back together, and we'll come back. Cheers, guys. Right, we're all looked up with the elevator servos now. Turn it in underneath there. Obviously, all moving tailplane. Always look great, all moving tailplanes. There we go. I've got to just trim that together properly. But we're all moving now. Right, we can go on to the aileron servos now. Cheers, guys. Okay, guys. A little bit further on now. We've now got ailerons. I was going to mount the servos in the top, but to be honest with you, I thought after looking at sitting the servos on top, I thought it was going to be far too much of a mess. So I'm going to put some horn protectors underneath, some little tunnels for the tips of the rods to run. Sorry, the tips of the control horns to run under. But anyway, ailerons, elevator. So we're doing all right now. We're getting there. And I don't even need to reverse it, it's all in the right orientation. I think that's gonna have plenty of throw in it. I know the little Phantom rolls like a bleeding drill. Right, there we go, guys. Let's start cutting out some tunnels now for the wiring and put the fuselage back together. Okay, guys. This is my ESC extensions, all made up. I'm not normally very good at soldering, but these didn't come out too badly. Right, let's connect it all up, get it all back together. Okay, guys, we are all back together. Only real thing left to do now is to put the exhaust nozzles on. So we've got the watt tester set up here. Right, let's see what happens. Right, we've got 1394 watts, 65.11 amps. Right, this isn't the best battery in the world either, so we're going to just burst the throttle, see if we can get any more watts out of it. Right, we set 68 amps, 1437 watts. And believe you me, it pulls. I've held it in my hand. So we'll see if we can get that up a little bit anyway. Might have to get another battery actually. might mess about with some cheaters as well soon, because the fan is way back there. All the way back there. Right, she fits in there nicely. Right. Okay, let's tidy everything up. Right guys, after we've just done the thrust test, we're coming up at about 2 kilograms of thrust, so it's still got more to go. I do need to open up the some cheaters, and I think the battery is a big culprit of the thrust and the amps and the watts. So I just think we're not hitting it with the battery. It's really sagging. So anyway, all up weight, this is with everything in it. There you go, just over. It's about 1740 grams, 1735, something along those lines. So even with 2 kg of thrust, we're still getting just over a 1 factor on thrust to weight. So like I say, it is recommended about 3.2 kilograms of thrust, pulling around the 90 amp mark. So, and about 2300 watts. So we've got a bit of messing about to do, but we're on our way. Hey guys, well, this is where we're at with the Phantom then. So we've installed the fan, we've installed all the servos, ESC's all installed, everything's rigged. I've made up the extensions for the ESC to EDF. Now, she had a lot of punch when I first tested the fan, when it was obviously just on the fuselage section, as you've all seen. Nearly lost it off at the end of the table. Now the fuselage is all back together, it's not producing as much thrust as what I expected it would. I'm pretty sure there's 2 factors to it, which you probably already heard me say throughout the vid. The LiPo that's in there is donkey's years old. It's been through a few EDFs and it's had a hard life. So to push 2 kilograms of thrust, it wasn't too bad. It's a 3300 battery. So we're going to order up some new batteries. I'm going to have a dig about this evening, try and get some real high C ratings, some good reliable batteries. Again, probably only about 3700 milliamp. All up weight 1.7, just over 1.7 kilograms. We're going to make some cheaters underneath. Now, during the build, I have been thinking a lot more into it. Obviously, I put the servos now in the underside of the aircraft, because I didn't want them to look a mess in the top. So I am now really considering putting the gear on it. I don't really want to be hand launching it, and I know somebody else can hand launch it for me, but it only takes that slight nose up or whatever, and you're in a tail stall and it's snapped in half, and I really don't want to go through that. So I've got some CNC retracts. We've got our nose gear here, and we've got one main, but we've only got one main, so I need to order up a pair of Olios at the same time as the battery. I'll measure this out. I've got the wheels and everything for it, so the Phantom's going to be a little bit more on hold, probably for another week or so. I am going to fly it up with the retracts because I really just don't want to hand launch it now. I've put quite a bit of time into it. I've still got a bit more to go. We've got to tidy up the underside of the aircraft. We've got to basically tape all the wires into place. Just cover everything up, make it look tidy. I've got to fix the retract mounts in there, and then she needs painting on the underside. So we still need to get some decals ordered as well. And once we've done that, we can get around to doing a bit of weathering. I'm going to start the exhaust nozzles this evening, and sort of probably leave it there now until next weekend, or if I've got a bit of time during the week. So anyway, thanks guys for sitting down, taking the time to watch. Now, I know a lot of people have been asking about this Phantom. A lot of people obviously seem like they're looking forward to seeing it fly. So am I, and I want to put a show on for you guys. So yeah, we're going to go with the safe aspect with retract, so at least we can sort of tame it off of the ground. Right, well, let's say thanks for all the comments and interaction, guys. Deuce is Wild, shout out to you, mate. RC Sean Brady, Will Nate, Dave of course, Skip Built RC, Jeff Custom RC. Right, as I said before in the last video, go and check out Jeff's Custom RC, not this Jeff, another Jeff. And he's got some really brilliant weathering vids going on at the moment, build vids. He's onto a new Flightline Corsair at the moment. I believe it's the 1600mm Corsair, which is the sister sort of prop model to the big 1600 Spitfire. It's got the same sort of amount of detail in it, so I need to catch up with that. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and we will be back with an update once we've got a bit more going on with the Phantom. Thanks for watching guys.